Imagine choosing to fly United within Asia. United. When you could be flying ANA, Japan Airlines, China Airlines, Starlux, even the mainland Chinese carriers, and yet here I am. Curiosity and self-sabotage got the best of me. Just how bad, or maybe shockingly good, is a United flight, or should we say a United holiday, when you're surrounded by the best airlines in the world? I mean, surely United must do something to make these pricey intra-Asian flights competitive, right? And wait, why is United even allowed to fly within Asia? Is this legal? Yes, it is. But should it be? I'm Dan, a full-time airline reviewer who has flown over 200 airline premium products in the past decade on my own dime. Today, we are diving into this strange slice of aviation, so let's go.
Well, you guys, we just landed in Tokyo after flying Thai Airways first class. And as you can tell by the title, the next airline is almost on the same level. So I bet you're tuning into this video thinking, Dan, I didn't know you were kinky like that. I didn't know you liked pain and suffering. Well, the thing is, I'm not, but I figured apparently everyone who's on this flight is, so we need to figure out what kind of people are flying this route. So we're starting out by heading to the United Club of all places here. And yeah, we have some stuff to talk about.
First and foremost, United is one of the biggest airlines at Tokyo Narita. Not only do they have a heavily banked schedule where flights arrive from all their US hubs almost at the exact same time, and then the flights all return around the same time too, but also, like any other United hub, when you have a bunch of wide bodies arriving, it's helpful to plan some regional connecting flights to fill those long-haul flights with profitable traffic. So, over the past year, United has decided to cease this demand by expanding their regional network out of Tokyo Narita using Boeing 737s. But Dan, 737s can't fly from the US to Japan. Well, not from the mainland US, but United has long had a hub in the US territory of Guam. That's about a 4-hour flight from Tokyo. So what they do is shuttle a bunch of 737s in on flights from Guam so they arrive at Narita around the same time as their US flights. US mainland flights, I should say. Then they use those 737s to bolster their regional connectivity to destinations like Cebu, Philippines, Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, and my route today, Kaohsiung, Taiwan. Besides Mongolia, these are destinations that could support direct US flights, but offering them as connecting flights on a much cheaper to operate narrow body is less risky, requires fewer in-demand wide bodies, and allows them to pick up traffic to and from Tokyo as well. Given this massive network out of Narita, it is no surprise that United has its own United Club here. As far as United Clubs go, this one is elevated significantly with a Japanese flair, but still, it's not exactly a lounge to seek out.
Okay, I took one look at that lounge and then I was out of there. I'm kidding, it wasn't that bad. It just is a bit crazy to me to go to the United Club when they literally have an ANA lounge and a Turkish Airlines lounge that Starline's business class passengers would technically get into as well. Okay, our plan is to eat before the flight, but boarding is in 15 minutes, so we need to really haul ASS. It's wild that boarding for a 737 on United starts 40 hours before departure here, and meanwhile ANA will board a 777, or Japan Airlines will, in less than 30 minutes. I'm curious if United's food will be any better when it's catered from Tokyo. And another question I have is, who are the crew? Who are the pilots? I have so many questions and so few answers, but boarding is in 10 minutes, so we're gonna find out that.
With that, we really need to hurry to our gate, but I guess we're kind of procrastinating getting on board today.
Not gonna lie, it's actually such a weird feeling seeing United 737s in Asia, even though I've seen them before. Just being in Tokyo and seeing those here, it's really like, where am I? As an av geek, it's a bit jarring. So there is our aircraft. One thing I immediately noticed that I'm immediately like, Oh no, is all the closed window shades. This is gonna be such a hater video, but it's mostly sarcastic, guys.
When you don't live in the US, I cannot tell you how weird it feels to see and board a US narrowbody. We are thousands of miles away from its home. I guess the closest equivalent is flying Emirates from Miami to Bogota, which again is a huge contrast to the other airlines flying that route in a very positive way in that case.
Caw, caw, caw. Here we go. The Americanist. Yeah, this is so weird. Like, you just got a United boarding pass.
I am so confused. Mentally, I'm not here.
Yeah, so let's see. Is United in Asia better? Even better?
When we board, we are shocked.
I was shocked, honey. I was in tears almost.
Is this cabin a relic from the Wright brothers' original flight? Because if so, that's kind of cool. Seriously, what in the last century is going on here? Guess what? That's my reaction before I see this entertainment screen. Okay, this is some alternative universe kind of thing. It is actually trippy to be sitting here because it feels 100% like we're flying in the US. They even serve drinks in plastic cups pre-departure, sparkling wine or water. And the thing is, when they do this in the US, they say it's for legal or like safety reasons. I think possibly the FAA has something about that, or maybe I just read that somewhere as some excuse, but there's no excuse to do it in Japan. It's also like time travel because the cabin is so old and worn. The seats are super comfortable because obviously seats from 25 years ago when this is from were much more comfortable. It just looks like something from like a 747-100.
It's like jumping straight into a Friends episode from the 90s, like one of the earliest seasons when they're on a plane. That's exactly what it feels like right now.
It seems to be perfectly clear that you were on a break.
So, some things are only available, like here it says United Economy on US, Canada, Latin American, Caribbean flights. And this is also so mind-blowing to me. Again, like we're on an airline that loads a menu for Tokyo to Taiwan to Kaohsiung, but the menu says US, Canada, Latin America, and Caribbean flights, but we're on a narrow body. It's all like, if you were here, you would understand just how weird this all feels. So yeah, not at all confusingly, the airline loads its regular US menus even though these aircraft never touch the US mainland. Make it make sense. I have a little test, a traveler test, to see if you can figure out what do the US, Japan, my origin on this flight, and Taiwan all have in common. Quite an unusual thing. I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Their electricity is all around 110 volts, as opposed to most of the rest of the world, which uses a voltage of over 200. That is where today's video sponsor Ceptics comes in. Ceptics makes travel adapters with some hardcore safety features. For example, on this, you have a little display that shows you which voltage is coming out of the wall to remind you not to plug in a product that is not compatible with that voltage. Ceptics also has this travel adapter with a built-in 70-watt USB-C cable, an additional 70-watt USB-C port, 2 USB-A ports, and compatibility in over 200 countries and regions. And with this thing, you don't even have to worry about voltages because it will convert it for you. With multiple outlets, it's the perfect accessory to use for things like steamers, hair dryers, hair straighteners, curling irons, etc. Best of all, Ceptics products are packed with safety features like surge protection, auto shutoff, and even fans to prevent the products from overheating in your hotel room at 2 a.m. Try a safer travel adapter that won't damage your products by tapping that link at the top of the description right now, or by scanning the QR code right here. At this point, my eyes venture up to the overhead panels. Oh hey, individual air vents. They're talking about the United Airlines Chase credit card. I guess that tells us quite a bit about the demographic and the citizenship of the people taking these flights, because that is just wild. If this was just Japanese and Taiwanese people, no one would be able to apply for that credit card. I actually don't want to touch anything around me because it's so dirty. So thank goodness United hands out sanitizing wipes. Wiping away 20 years of grime.
Couple wet wipes, case a bum try to touch me. Ew.
No, honestly, I love that United gives these wipes. I wish every airline gave them. I guess it's from COVID era, but even if 10% of people use them, that's a big improvement compared to 0. In addition to the wipes, we generously get headphones. Can you imagine this level of generosity? I hate to complain. I mean, this whole video is complaining, but for a 4-hour international business class flight, these are the headphones. Let me rip them open to show you. Girl, your ears are gonna be in pain after like 10 minutes of using these. Do you see these? Other airlines are laughing in economy class. On a positive note, we pushed back right on time. Our flight is almost empty today. To be honest, I'd say the people flying economy have a much better deal. Not only does economy look modern and far nicer, but they basically all have a row each of seats that actually look clean. So we just pushed back, and amazingly, this flight is scheduled at 4.5 hours when our flight time is actually only 3.5 hours. So the schedule is incredibly padded. I think it's because Narita is just unbelievably busy this time of day. We're currently, I would say like 15th in line for takeoff. So I think that's gonna take a while, and hopefully we'll be landing quite early. So that's good. Now guys, while we're in line for takeoff, I discover what is honestly the most shocking part yet. This is me right now.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
As I tap the entertainment screen, I discover that it's not touchscreen. Weird. Instead, you have to control it with the buttons on the armrest. That is when I realized that the Swifties working at United decided to take the Taylor Swift references too far and take us on an Eras tour to the days of yore.
Hey, what are some other time periods, Rachel?
Well, there's yore and, yesteryear.
I'm pretty sure that is the era this entertainment screen is from. In 2025, in business class, United offers an entertainment system with channels. If you're under 25 years old, I'm pretty sure you have no idea what I'm talking about. Basically, there are a total of 8 movies/channels loaded onto this entertainment system. All the movies start at the same time at some point during pushback, which means that whenever you join the channel, you will join from wherever the movie is currently playing. Basically, it's like the whole plane having access to TV channels. I am frankly so stunned by this that I do not know what to say. United, hello, we are in 2025. Would you like to join us here, or is your 90s nostalgia getting the best of you? I know the 90s seem pretty sweet compared to current times, but goodness, this is one thing we should all agree to leave behind. Rant over, let's lift off and get this flight over with. Just need to be real here, because United is one thing in the US, and if you go back and watch my United videos, you will hear that when it comes to the context of US airlines flying to or from the US, I'm really not opposed to the idea of flying United. I usually say that there's actually quite a few positives. I praise their app, which didn't seem to work on this trip, or I didn't get any of the usual app updates and home screen widgets and stuff that you would get flying in the US. I assume most people here are connecting to or from a United flight, so they're just continuing their journey on United, but they do sell this leg individually, so you can fly just between Tokyo and the destinations that United flies to in Asia. And for those people, what kind of message is this sending about the state of the US? What kind of representation of the US is this, that one of the biggest airlines in the US and one of the biggest airlines in the world is operating a plane in this state with this type of entertainment system? On every other Asian airline, full service airline in a premium cabin, there would be a pillow on this flight, there would be a plush blanket. Here there's no pillow, and there is basically an economy blanket. It's not the end of the world. You don't need a pillow, you don't need a blanket, you don't need most of this stuff. I just think also United isn't charging any less than competitors like EVA. Can you imagine the same price for an EVA Airlines flight as a United flight in this cabin? It's so sad that this is what the US is putting out in the world, and that for sure so many United fanboys are going to watch this video and be like, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about. We're talking about an international global context here, and this just is so subpar that it's laughable. But I have one positive thing to say. The crew today is very friendly. I'm assuming they're Guam based. It's also clear that United doesn't really give any service training. So for example, before takeoff, they came around to collect the cups and we had our sanitizing wipes next to the cups. We had the napkins. Do you think they picked that up along with the cups? This is like airline service 101 in a premium cabin. You know, let's look out the window and pretend we're on ANA or something. Mount Fuji views, ANA vibes. Ah, the US airline curtain. What did I say? Look outside only. Since this is a review / roast, I also need to test out the Recline. Okay, it's time to review the Recline. Let's see how far back this goes. Oh wait, I was reclined. I didn't even realize. So that's the Recline. This is the over. Let's see, is this at least adjustable? Where is the Recline? I think they left the Recline in the US or something because the Recline is not with us on board today. It's non-stop criticism today, but I'm gonna say that the crew has been non-stop really sweet. They're so nice, so well-intentioned, and yeah, apparently they're all based in Guam. They just flew up from there this morning, so they did Guam, Tokyo, Kaohsiung. They also do the Mongolia route. They do all their routes from Tokyo, so they have a really cool network. The in-flight service could save things, right? I mean, a hot towel? It's giving luxury global airline. I gotta say, the meal service is starting, and I do not mind having pretzels in my bowl of heated United nuts. Me trying to find anything positive to say, like... United offers very US drinks, which is a fun twist for this flight. I opt for my childhood favorite. You know what? I have missed a cranberry juice, not gonna lie, it's been a while. This can alone probably contains more sugar than the average Japanese or Taiwanese person consumes in a day, but at least on United we have freedom to drink as much sugar as we want. Yeah, caw. So the food is here. Let's start with two positives. We have real balsamic vinegar and olive oil, which I think is more than you can say for a lot of United flights. We also have Biscoff, which you can just never ever go wrong with Biscoff. Biscoff spread is even better, may I say, but Biscoff cookies are also pretty sweet. The pasta looks a bit undercooked, shall we say, or overheated, and the salad looks green. So let me dig in and let you know how this tastes.
Taste test. Quite frankly, it doesn't taste much at all. I'm sorry.
For context, even economy is getting hot meals, chicken curry or pasta. Another reason economy seems more worthwhile on this flight than business. The really strange thing you feel when you're on a flight like this is that an airline and its product, you don't realize just how context specific it feels and it mentally is, how you categorize different things until you experience it entirely outside of that context. Obviously, a United 737 can fly anywhere in the world, technically, but it doesn't, besides on very few routes here in Asia. It could fly in Europe, it could fly in Africa, it could fly in the Middle East, but it doesn't, and because it's in the US context, you view it in such a specific way. But here, when you're suddenly flying it in an Asian context, completely outside of where United quote-unquote belongs, you can see it much more objectively, and unfortunately that objectivity, I would say, isn't something very positive in this case, because it makes you view the US airline market even more critically, at least for me. Okay, I'm gonna spare you the pain and negativity by just summarizing that the sun sets beautiful. I spend the rest of the flight looking at the rustic in-flight map every 10 seconds, hoping the flight will be over soon. United also literally advertised Wi-Fi on this flight, but apparently that isn't even installed on these planes. One final frontier, guys. We need to visit the lavatory. A huge positive, we're gonna land an hour early. The purser comes by to thank everyone for flying United before landing, which is definitely a touch I've never had on United before. Again, the crew is really well intentioned and shine, even though United clearly has not provided a minute of service training.
Bye. It's done. I just have to say that that flight feels like such a fever dream.
I know.
To get on that plane, yet we arrived and we're still in Asia.
Yeah, it's like how they describe teleportation. You're broken up into all your like individual
Yes.
pieces and you're just transported through some alternative realm. And then you end up, it's
Back in reality, like there's Family Mart, there's everything you love in life.
well, there's Starbucks behind you, so we have a bit of the US still.
That's true.
Listen to this. I would rather fly every other airline operating this route in economy class, including AirAsia, than fly United business class again within Asia. United, you are an extremely profitable airline. How do you have the nerve to charge top prices for a product that is so laughably bad that AirAsia economy seems appealing in comparison? If you guys need to cleanse your eyes after what you've witnessed in this video, the card on screen will offer something that's the complete opposite of this. Luxurious, clean, and heavenly. Check it out, you won't regret it. And until I see you in that video or my next, as always, fly safe.